Today I will be demonstrating the UBC Course Explorer. Sorry about that. I'll be demonstrating the UBC Course Explorer. So in our first functionality, we can check out our @dataset functionality, where you can input a string, alphanumeric string, and then pick a valid zip, and then click @dataset, which will then call our @dataset endpoint in the backend with a pull request, and that will successfully add our dataset. Now, if you try to add the same dataset with the same ID, you can have the same zip with the same ID. It tells you that the ID already exists, and this is not possible. And you can see that this response is coming from the backend. I don't know why the network can't load it, but we're basically getting it from the backend. And also, if you try to add a zip that is not valid, it just fails to create it. It just fails to create the dataset, even if you change the ID to something else. Now, we also have our list dataset, which automatically refreshes every single time you click add dataset, and I think you guys have already seen that. But just to reiterate, if you reload, it loads in all the datasets, and this happens with this call over here, which calls localhost/dataset, and this responds with all the possible datasets that you can have from your disk. Now, we also have, let's click this here. Now, we also have our remove dataset, which calls our delete endpoint, and it sends in the ID as in the URL, and it essentially deletes dataset, and you can see how this dataset updates right after that. So next, for the next few things, for the next new functionalities, I will have to have some sort of dataset already added. And I'll just do two here just to show off some of the select functionalities as well. So you can see that the two datasets are added, and to find the average grade by course name or course department and ID, I guess, you can select between the different datasets that are available that you've added previously. So here I'll select test 2, set the year to 2015, department to math, and you can see how it gives the overall average for all the math courses in ascending order. Now, this gives our user a insights about which courses to take, based on which courses have the highest averages, which department has the highest averages, right? So for Cpsc, you can see that the averages are definitely lower, and here's a popular course over here, Cpsc 213, has an average of 73.96 or whatnot. And you can see that the query here is being called every time we click it, and the payload is essentially just the query, and it will replace these parameters here based on what department you select and what year you select. So you can see that the year has been set to 2015, and the department has been set to math. Now, if you go here, this shows you the number of professors for a department, and for this one, all you have to do is select a dataset, and for this one, since we use test 2 over here, I'll use test 1 here, and when you click find, it shows you how many professors there are in each department, and this can kind of give our users an insight about the demand that each department experiences, right? Because I think demand and the number of professors is directly proportional. So we have, for something like, say, Cpsc, we have 89 professors, which is actually pretty decent, but it's not as high as something like math or commerce. You know how Sauder is very well funded. I think we all know about that. And then next we have our most audited course in the department. The motivation behind this was essentially that me and my partner wanted to make something that we could use ourselves, and we do have interests outside of Cpsc, and the courses that we want to take that we don't really want to be to affect our GPA or be reflected on our transcript can be found using this tool right here. So I select the data set, and I go into, let's say, Cpsc. So this will show you the what's it called, the number of audits per course. You can see that 540 is audited very often, and if we check what Cpsc 540 is, so that's machine learning, and it just so happens that the next most audited course is 340, which is also machine learning. So I guess machine learning itself is very popular, and a lot of people audit this course, right? If you go into math, you can check out what math courses are being audited. So Math 507, let's see that. And I can see that Math 507 is something to do with measure theory and integration, which I actually have no idea about, but you know, it's good to know. And then French and language courses are usually the most audited ones because people just like learning languages on their free time, I guess. And you can see that the query is also being used here, and it's hitting our query endpoint just like the other two tools, which has been set up to just take queries like this and sub in values depending on which one you use. So this is the end of the demonstration. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you so much for watching.